Bowl champions, Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Phixated Podcast. I am your host, Mike Azzolina, and I am joined by a guy who I know enjoys a good Christmas cookie just like the rest of us. Regzy Boo, how you doing?
Doing great, man. What do you define as a Christmas cookie?
Well, I think that there are certain types of cookie that are specific to Christmas time. So like I think about like the sugar cookie that has like the shape.
Yep.
I think of like snickerdoodles.
Okay.
I don't think like chocolate chip cookies are specific to Christmas.
I mean,
although
not specific,
I do
but
have a whole bowl of them right here.
Not specific, but it is generally the cookie of choice for Santa Claus.
Truth.
So
this is true.
I know it's what we still leave out for him.
Do you have a favorite like holiday? I'll say holiday treat because maybe not everybody likes a cookie.
Yeah, see, I'm like it. I'm very simple. I don't usually. I mean, I love a chocolate chip cookie. I'm not gonna lie. Snickerdoodles are fantastic. I'm not a huge fan of like regular sugar cookies. That doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I mean, I'm a sucker for a Reese's, shaped like a Christmas tree.
Yeah, I mean they hit different.
Yeah,
they hit different.
I'll take them all day long.
Just so everybody knows, Regz has no idea how I'm going to open the show every week.
No,
I drop an A-bomb on him like from the jump. I wonder sometimes if you sit there and just think to yourself, what's he going to say to me this week?
I do think that, but it's never in fear. It's always like, this will be fun.
Yeah. Well, tonight was the cookie thing. And so I don't have any snickerdoodles here. I have my mother-in-law's chocolate chip cookies. And I don't honestly know what you call these, but they're the cookie that has the kiss in them.
Yeah. I don't know what you call them.
But they're also pretty specific to Christmas time.
Yes.
You know what?
My family friend makes white chocolate dipped Oreos only at Christmas. And she would bring them up for like the Christmas Eve parties that my family would throw for like the neighborhood.
Okay.
Those were good. Those are still good. She's still around. She's still making them. So they are good. My
very favorite Christmas cookie is snickerdoodles.
Yeah, it's a good call.
And so for a very long time, my moms were like, no one could beat Joe Marie's snickerdoodles. No one. However, I consider her a distant cousin. She's a cousin through a cousin, essentially. Marcy made her snickerdoodles 2 Thanksgivings ago, and they are unbelievable. And so like Joe Marie might have been displaced as the number 1 snickerdoodle.
Wow.
I don't think this is news to her. I feel like she saw me eat them and tell her like, wow, these are delicious. So if you're just finding out by listening, Mom, I apologize. And I'll expect a text message in 3, 2, 1. Regz, did you know Wendy's is doing snickerdoodle Frosties right now?
No.
I just had one the other night.
Was it
good? It was awesome.
All right.
So Andrea and I were Christmas shopping last weekend, and she was hungry and wanted me to stop and get her chicken nuggets from Wendy's.
A great choice.
Absolutely. So we stopped and we got chicken nuggets, and one of the screens that you order at had like new special like snickerdoodle. And I was like, she's like, get one. I was like, no, not in the middle of the day. Like for me, a Frosty is like a nighttime thing. So I went on Tuesday and grabbed one. And it's delicious. It is delicious. The top is very snickerdoodle. Once you get to the middle to the bottom, it's vanilla unless you scoop the sides.
Yeah.
And then you get like, the snickerdoodle
All right.
or like twang to it. So yeah, I'd say go try one. I don't know if the boys like snickerdoodles or not, or if
I don't
Ange
know if
does.
they would know what a snickerdoodle is.
Okay.
So I mean, they would try it though.
I think
They're a sucker for a
I think-
Frosty.
I mean, that was the key. If I didn't like the snickerdoodle part of it, I knew that some of it would
Sure.
be vanilla,
Yeah.
and it was still very, very good. So,
All right. There you go.
I mean, go give it a go.
Are you
give it
an
a run, man.
eggnog person?
So my grandfather's eggnog specifically, yes.
Okay.
Any other eggnog, not really.
All right.
You?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
My youngest brother will drink it by the gallon.
Okay.
He'd drink it in like the summertime. He's like one of those
Gotcha.
weirdos.
Gotcha. I don't think I could do that. That's
No.
a very holiday specific thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my
it's not-
grandfather
never
made
been
it for a
never
long
been for
time.
me. Despite my love of I don't know if I've ever had a good like alcoholic one. So maybe I
Okay.
just need one of them and it would convert me.
It probably so my grandfather did it with old granddad,
Yep.
and when he passed, he gave the recipe to only my cousin Teresa and my uncle. And so my uncle makes it every holiday and drops it off at like everybody's house. But my cousin gave it to me for when Andrea and I got married. So I have it. I only made it with my grandpa like one time.
Mm-hmm.
And it was towards the end of his life. And I have not made it since because my uncle usually does.
Right.
Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll do it this year. Maybe I'll do it and bring it to my my mother-in-law's for Christmas Eve.
Or maybe you make like a small batch and add some just really good bourbon. And see what happens, right? You know, like
I got that whole shelf.
then it'll be a little different, you know. You're
Yeah.
not really impeding. You're just like, I just wanted to try this with something,
Yeah,
you know,
let's
a little
see how this works. Yeah, I might do that. I might do this little treat for the fam on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
A little treat for the fam.
There you go.
So, yeah. Well, thanks for having the holiday talk with me.
Anytime, man. Like I said, I
I-
hope that usually when you bring this stuff up, I've been pretty good at just rolling with it. And just
You
here
are.
we go.
Again, I don't tell Regs. I literally write it down at the top of my sheet and never say a word. I used to, and then I was like, you know what? Let's just stop telling him what we're going to talk about and see how it goes. And since I've stopped, it's actually been great. I think it's better this way.
I don't think there'd be anything that we couldn't talk about, quite honestly.
Yeah, you know what? Let's have some fun with this. If you're listening to the show, all right, you got a couple ways to get in touch with me. Some of you actually have my phone number, and some of you follow me on social media. So tell me what topics you would love for me to bring up to Regs at the beginning of the show without him knowing. It could be via text, it could be on social media, however you want to tell me.
Yeah.
What topics you'd like for me to just drop on Regs's head.
And then it'll be funny for you to turn those topics into, and I'm joined by a guy. That's the other key, is that you have to somehow morph it. It's not just like, hey, Regs, let's talk about this for 10 minutes. It has to be, you know, within the confines of the intro.
Yeah, well, listen, that is the only way I know how to do the
That'll be
intro.
your creative process, though, getting those topics
Yeah.
and then turning it into somehow.
I didn't really think of one tonight, and it turned into a guy who loves a cookie just like the rest of us.
I mean, it's not shocking to people, I'm sure.
Oh
But-
my gosh, I love it. I love it. I
Though
love it.
I'm not a big sweet tooth guy.
Yeah,
Outside,
I actually know that about you. You're more of a savory guy.
I am. Outside of anything Reese's related, you know, and peanut butter,
Yeah.
like I'm a sucker for anything peanut butter and a brownie. But outside, like I'm not a cake person. I'm not a cupcake guy. I'll eat a cookie, but it's not like the first thing I'm going for.
Yeah, you're like me. You're a little more of a savory guy.
I am.
I'm not a big sweets guy either, but during the Christmas like holiday season, I'll
Oh,
indulge
yeah.
myself in the plate of cookies or something like that.
Sure.
Typically, you can find me with some ice cream too, but that's it.
Yeah. Like again, just like anybody, there's a dozen things that I would never say no to if it's in front of
Right.
me. But yeah,
I-
not
I get
a big sweets guy.
No, I get it. I will urge you to go get the Wendy's.
We will. We'll have to try that. I'll have to try it when the boys
Snickerdoodle
are around, so I
Frosty.
don't have to eat the whole thing by myself.
Free advertising for Wendy's here on
I mean,
the Phixated
listen,
Podcast.
if they're listening, we are open.
Our DMs are
We
open.
are available.
At the Mic Drop 5 at Big Regs with a Z.
We are
at
available.
the Phixated Podcast on Instagram. Yeah, go ahead and just fly into our DMs,
please.
Should we continue with America's Top Chef, or should we?
I wouldn't be able to help with that.
You know,
I've never watched that show, despite being a
or
huge
what
Food
is it,
Network guy.
The Great Baker, or
The
whatever.
Great British Bake Off, or whatever it's called.
Yeah, we could do that. Or listen, I'm always down for diners, drive-ins, and dives.
I mean, always.
I really need Richards to be on that.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, that's a rabbit hole.
Well, that's a rabbit hole we are not ready to go down tonight. We'll go down that one another time.
Yeah.
Listen, you want to talk about sports, or?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do that. So we are going to be really heavy Phillies here tonight. We're going to briefly touch on the Eagles toward the end of the show. The Sixers have been off here recently just because of the cup wrapping up. So there's not a whole lot there. They're sort of floating where they've been between that like 5 and 7 seed, just doing enough, right? Just doing enough. So we're going to be really heavy Phillies to start the show, and then wrap up with brief Eagles talk here at the end. So Regs, lots has happened in the world of Phillies this week, so much so that we considered an emergency podcast.
We did
on Tuesday. Unfortunately, we could not make it happen. We talked about Monday, we talked about Tuesday, and then we're like, you know what? We'll just wait till Thursday to see if something else happens. And more things did happen.
That's
so
true.
It worked out in the long run. But let's start with the first thing that dropped. On Monday, the Phillies signed right fielder Adolis Garcia to a 1-year, $10 million contract to basically replace the Max Kepler contract from last year. I'll give you my immediate thoughts here, Regs. I like the move as a bounce back move. I like it a lot. I like it from a defensive perspective, a ton. I like it from an energy perspective, a ton. I do think there's quite a bit of risk here. A guy who strikes out a lot, a guy who does not walk a lot. And, between he and Casty, who's not even going to be playing for you, you're paying $30 million. This seems like it's the final move for the outfield, which we'll dig into more. This is a little separate from just Adolis Garcia in general here. For me, the move is fine. That's the way I describe it. I don't describe it as anything worse than that. I don't describe it as anything better than that. I do look forward to him hitting home run in October and the place losing its mind because he's losing his mind.
Mm-hmm.
There's some part of me, and there's been some, I've done a little bit of research. I have to dig in more, but it looks like Globe Life has become a little bit of a nightmare for right-handed hitters in Texas. So maybe getting him at Citizens Bank Park will be helpful. I read today that he's working with his old hitting coach, the guy who he worked with before 2023. So that's possibly a real positive for them. Maybe just a general change of scenery and him not having to be the guy, because if he's hitting 6th, I think that's more than okay. A dude that can hit 25 to 30 home runs hitting 6th is a real plus. So for me, Regs, the word is fine. What say you to this deal?
Yeah, I think that's right. I think I key in on a few things. I'm happy to have a good arm in the outfield. Finally, someone who might actually be able to throw people out. So I'm excited about that. I think the reason you take this bet as better than like a Kepler thing or something like that is because he at least has the illusion of power. Like when he does hit the ball, he's still hitting it very hard. He's still like in the top, percentages of exit velocity and,
I think it's like
hard hit
82nd
and all.
percentile.
Yeah, which is good, right? And I think we've all been wanting a right-handed power bat to join this lineup. Now, look, Adolis Garcia, as it's been going, is not the perfect answer to that question, but it's a lot closer than Castellanos or Max Kepler. So, at the very least, you're happy about the defense. You're happy about the attitude and the energy that he's going to bring. And you're happy that at least, like, you have to be a little bit afraid of him. Because if he gets if he starts getting a hold of him in Citizens Bank Park, they're going to go, man. And I think the other thing, I think they were talking about it on the Philly show. I think Salisbury was talking about this, is that like the whole Texans team, the whole Texas Rangers team, they all like fell off a cliff after 2023, except for like Corey Seager, who might be one of the best hitters in the sport. Like, so it wasn't just Adolis. Like, it was him. Let's not take anything away. It was him. He did get worse. He did. But from what Salisbury was saying was that they hired some hitting coach who and from what he had heard or what he had found out, like it was terrible. Like they were just bad. So look, I don't say that to mean that we're going to get the 39 home run, 107 RBI guy who is batting cleanup for the World Series champion. I think, like you said, if he can come in and not feel like he has to do everything and maybe just start to be a little more selective, maybe just not strike out as much. I think it's unrealistic to ask him to be 2023 Adolis Garcia, but you're just looking for, like you said, 30 home, like would 30 home runs be ridiculous? Would, let's even say 85 RBIs be ridiculous? Like, I don't think so.
If Adolis Garcia, let's say he hit 230 with 25 home runs, hitting sixth, I think we'd all be okay with that.
Yeah.
I think we'd all be okay with that. But that leads me to this next part, which is if we're okay with that, he can't be the only answer here.
I think that's a fair point.
He can't be. We Regz, the nightmare scenario, like the worst possible scenario is playing out right in front of our eyes. That they are going to tell us they're not running it back because they're adding Justin Crawford and Adolis Garcia, who's essentially just a better defensive version of Nick Castellanos.
Yeah. Yeah.
And maybe has more power in the long run. But like, we don't know what Crawford is.
Yeah.
And if you're saying that he's one of the main changes to this roster, that's a lot of unfair and unnecessary pressure on a 23-year-old kid.
Yeah.
The youngest player to start the major league season with the Phillies in light years. And so the way it looks right now, the way that they're posing it, it's going to be those two with Marsh and a platoon partner, probably Otto Kemp, Bohm, Turner, Stott, Harper, probably JT. And we're going to do the same thing all over again. At the end of the day, Regz, I am not whatsoever at all, even remotely bothered if they decide that this is the outfield. As long as there's another bat coming. If this is the outfield with the present roster, heck yeah, I have an issue. Regz, look, I know my dad watches the show and I know he loves Alec Bohm, but can we all grow up? Like, this is not getting better.
Yeah.
Like, he had 11 home runs last year.
I know. It's crazy.
This is who Alec Boehm
Uh,
is with 1 year left on his contract. Trade him for whatever you can get. Stop trying to hold up teams
yeah.
for what he's not. It like the league is telling you that he is what he is.
Yeah.
And it's time for the organization to say, okay, we'll take this middling prospect or this like okay reliever in return for the guy who is good defensively, has improved immensely, makes a lot of contact, will inevitably miss like a month due to some random injury, and not hit for any power whatsoever. And will also disappear in the postseason. I think it's okay to just like cut your losses here and go sign the guy. Go sign him. Like, what is holding this team back from trading Alec Bowman, bringing in Alex Bregman, sorry. I don't understand what is holding them back, or Bo Bichette. But like, Garcia can't be the guy. He just simply can't be the guy. This
Yeah.
team is not offensively built well enough for Garcia to be the guy.
Yeah. And at this point, you don't really want him to be because of what the past 2 years have been.
Right.
I think, God, I'm seeing a few people say this, and I'm starting to think it myself. It's like, okay, we offered JT money. Something clearly is off. Are we that worried? Like, if we could not pay JT and trade Bohm and use that to go get a Bo Bichette, like, are we that mad if Marchand is hitting 8th or 9th, right? And Crawford's 8th? Are we that worried about it? Is it that like big of a deal?
I think for me, I'd be okay with that. Again, as long as there's a Bichette or Bregman,
Yeah,
right?
that has to happen. If you're yes, that's what I'm saying. But
I still think there's got to be an insurance policy even behind Marchand in that case. So like, one of these trades, you have to bring back somebody's like minor league catcher who's going to be in AAA and is almost there.
right. Or there's got to be some veteran catcher who's just out there doing
floating
nothing
around.
You can
Yeah,
grab
I
for
mean,
a
you
year.
still have Stubbs, but you're really banking on some question marks at the catcher position. I don't believe that they're gonna have a ton of money coming off the books next year. It's like $50 million easily coming off the books next year.
Yeah.
So like, get yourself in trouble this year, and then you're fine next season.
Yeah.
Because you have this roster in place at that point. You're not going to make any more additions.
Right.
The roster's going to be in place. You're hoping that you're probably gonna have to fill right field out again, but maybe somebody down in your system takes a step forward, or they figure that out when the time comes. But I think for right now, if JT's going to play hardball, they're going to have to make a choice here soon. You can't wait around. You can't wait around forever. And this team, they're clearly still going for it with the moves they've made. They added a guy who's going to be 33 to start the year.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to it in a minute, but they strengthened their bullpen. I know they want JT back, and the longer this goes on, the more nervous I get, because I don't understand what the holdup is. The only possibility that I can imagine being the holdup right now is that JT really wants to be here, but he's got like a 3-year offer somewhere, and the Phillies are not budging on a 3rd year. And JT's camp's doing everything they can to make it work in Philly. I can't imagine any other scenario being the reason. Because if all he's got out there are 2-year deals, why wouldn't he just be coming home?
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, yes, I think that is true. I don't know. Is he that worried about the extra year? Like, I don't know.
I think JT is more worried about setting a market for the future of catchers than he is anything else. Keeping a market for the future of catchers, because he set a really nice market a couple years ago. And he's probably the best catcher on the market again this year. So like, I don't know. I can't think of any other potential reason for any of this.
Yeah.
In my head, he was going to be a Philly today. I had the deadline at today. So I don't know what the holdup is right now. I do believe that, if they're willing to give JT this money, we keep seeing them in the conversation for the Japanese pitcher. Is it May? I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. I think it's a May. And he's $150 to $200 million pitcher. If we're in on that, we should be in on Bregman.
Yeah.
Like even without a trade or even with JT, if we're saying that we're going to be in on the pitcher, we should be in on the bat. And I understand that the starting rotation has question marks. Like we don't know certain pieces of we don't know what's going to become of Painter. We're waiting and hoping on Wheeler, and when he comes back, what that's going to look like. We have one more year of Luzardo. God only knows which Aaron Nola we're getting. So while the starting pitching has been a strength, Ranger's gone. There are question marks about it going into this season. So I know they want to be in that market. They want to be in that Japanese market worse than anything.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. I do believe, though, if you're going to throw money at that, let's not act like we haven't been searching for a bat for the last 4 seasons, and we haven't landed that bat. And I love the Adolis Garcia move. He's been on my trade deadline thing for, I think, 2 years. I think I had him on my potential offseason at some point this year. I talked about him. So I'm okay with it and I'm fine with it. I don't want that to be in isolation is where I'm at. And that includes JT.
I think that's where most people are at. Honestly, I think that's where a lot of people are at. It's I think it's fine because it fits more of the mold of what they've been looking for, for the past few years, in a finally like a right-handed bat that can, can have some pop, but it is tough to, it's like you said, if you're still thinking about who protects whatever lefty is going to hit third, it doesn't matter if it's Kyle or Bryce. I would hope it's Kyle. I think I would like to see Kyle hitting behind Bryce this year, so Bryce can feel like he has that protection and, can maybe be a little bit better in his at-bats. But if Adolis is behind Kyle, it's like, well, I think you're in the same boat. You're not. It's not as bad as Bohm, because at least Adolis can give you some pop and still hits the ball hard. But it's not Bo Bichette. It's not Alex Bregman. Like it's not one of those guys. And despite everything, we kind of we all want that guy. We all still want that guy as protection for the dudes we're paying a lot of money, to be really good. And I think that's just where a lot of people are at. And look, I didn't think they'd sign a reliever to more than 1 year, quite honestly. So they went out and surprised us there. So who the hell, we still don't know exactly how this plays out, and this JT thing is weird. It's been weird. I don't know why, but it just feels weird. So that's we're still in a weird spot. Despite being pretty okay with what they've done so far, we're still in
you asked me to grade this offseason on what has happened and not what is potentially to come or not to come. It is an A for me right now. I have no complaints about the things they've done from a isolated perspective. I love bringing back Kyle. I love bringing in Adolis Garcia. I love bringing in Keller, who we're going to talk about here in a moment. All of those are fine in isolation. They're more than fine in isolation. They're actually what I would consider to be valuable and important moves. It's from a complete roster building standpoint that I'm struggling with what's happening. Because we are we're preparing ourselves to be sold on the idea that we believe in Alec Boehm and we believe in Brandon Marsh. We believed in them the last 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
It's gotten us nothing. There comes a point where, like, you're not re-signing Alec Boehm after this season. Trade him for whatever the heck you can get. Be okay with it and move on.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And sign the next guy. Sign the next guy. I'm very, very tired. Like I will not be able to watch him hit into league leading 16 double plays in a 3-month span again.
And moping around and swinging at every first pitch he sees.
And not hitting a ball in the air. Like, I'm not going to do well if I have to watch it again. And I was always an Alec defender. Always. But at some point, you've got to make a change. And Nick is not the only necessary change on this roster. He's not. He's a big one, but he's not the only one. The other change that was necessary was finding a right-handed arm to pair with Joan Duran.
Mm-hmm.
I know we talked a lot about different guys on the show.
Yeah.
Brad Keller was not one of those guys.
No, it was not.
He was not mentioned a lot at all during the offseason. And I heard somebody talking today because they seem to think it was because his agents were trying to present him as a starter again. Which he was okay in Kansas City, but the full-time move to the bullpen last year just did wonders for his career, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's not to say that the Phillies won't use him in a Strahm-like fashion if they have a double header.
Yeah, right.
They can absolutely use him to open a game and go 2 or 3 innings. I heard a crazy stat that he had 19. Oh man, I'm not going to remember it. There was some sort of crazy back-to-back thing that he did this year. And he went back-to-back in half of his appearances and gave up less than 3 runs in all of those back-to-backs, which is wild.
So the complete opposite of David Robertson.
It's unbelievable. This is a dude who started most of his career. And then, your first year as a full-time reliever, you're going to come out half of your appearances are going to end up going back-to-back days.
Yeah.
And you're not going to give up any runs. Yeah, I think he was 2 walks or something like that.
I also that's the kind of thing that the Phillies would key in on and try it again, and it would go terrible.
Well, look,
can we just not do that, please? Can we just leave the man out there for some high leverage situations to hand the ball to, Mr. Tarantula, and we can move on with our lives?
He is not a guy with a lengthy track record.
Yeah, I know. That's why I don't want to be cute about this.
He dominated righties. I will say that looking at the spin rate, looking at all of the things that took a jump when he went to the bullpen and made some changes, it's sustainable. It's not it is not unsustainable. Now, is he going to pitch to a 2 ERA with a .91 whip? Is he going to allow three earned runs from July 10th through the postseason again? I don't know. It's likely not going to happen.
Yeah.
But a regression to a 2.7 ERA and a 1 flat whip or a 1.1 whip, none of us are going to be losing our minds over that.
Yeah, right.
What he did to deepen this bullpen by coming here is pretty incredible. They are a solid 6 pieces deep right now, to a point where I don't know where you're going to get leverage innings for some of these guys. We already know Duran. We're talking about Keller right now. You've got Kerkering, who's now your third best righty, which we've always said is where he belongs.
Yeah.
As like your third best righty and probably your fourth best arm. That's a really good place for Ryan Kerkering. And from the left side, you've got Alvarado, Banks, and Strahm, who we're going to talk about here in a moment. You got your long man, who, you know, for now looks like it's going to be the dude they took in Rule 5. I don't even know if he can essentially be a long man. And you've got to have the guy who moves up and down between, you know, your option spot, the guy that you're constantly churning. You're churning through, which is like Max Lazar and a couple of other dudes that we probably don't know about quite yet, or we haven't really talked about. With those guys, there's probably a trade coming, because you've got to have your long man. That'll end up being Taiwan when Wheeler gets back. So he'll slide back to that spot. You still want your roster churn spot. You're going to try and keep that Rule 5 guy. So you really only have 5 spots to play with. Well, they're not going to trade Duran. They're obviously, Keller's not going anywhere. I think Alvarado does more for them than doesn't. So it comes down to Banks, Kerkering, and Strahm. When you look at controllability, Banks and Kerkering are here for a bit yet.
Yeah.
Strahm's in his last year, and $7.5 million is a place where you can dump some money and clear some salary for a potential free agent. So looking at that scenario and what Keller provides you, because Strahm was the 8th inning guy. He was the dude that was out there setting up most nights. And look, we had a lot of conversations about Matt last year, and you know, he got better as the year went on, but he became a little more homer prone.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fly balls. A lot of fly balls. Another guy who came up small in the postseason the last 2 seasons. I think because Keller is going to provide them with a guy who can pitch in the 8th inning, he can pitch in the 9th inning if they need to give Duran a night off. I do think Strahm, with Alvarado coming back, who I think they still believe in, I think Strahm's likely your odd man out in terms of a trade. And it sounds like there are a lot of teams interested, Regz.
I mean, yeah, I'm really happy about the Keller thing, because I think it allows Orion to have a little less pressure on him. And I still think he can be a good pitcher. Like, I don't think either you or I doubt that Orion Kerkering can be a good pitcher, and has been a pretty good pitcher, and has shown plenty of glimpses of being a really good relief arm. And I just think this allows him to be that guy. It allows him to continue to progress. It allows him to get a little better. It gives him some space to make some mistakes, and it's not the end of the world. So I think that's great. The Strahm thing, I think, is it's another one of those things that somebody put it pretty well. If they're doing it like just a salary dump for no reason, I hate it. If it's to try and lead to something bigger, like you said, if it leads you to being able to get a Bichette or go in on the Japanese pitcher or whatever it might be, whatever it might lead to, I'm cool with that. I think, like you said, I think Strahm has been getting worse. His location was terrible last year. He was missing spots by like feet, not inches, i.e. that pitch he threw to Teoscar Hernandez that was supposed to be low and inside or high and inside, and he missed completely out over the plate. Oh God, I still see that thing going over the fence in my mind, and it makes me sad. Because I was there, and it was horrible. Okay, but I'm in that camp. I don't want to get rid of Matt Strahm just to get rid of him, because I still think he can be a decent, left-handed option for you. But if it's to get to something greater, then I'm totally fine with it.
And I do believe that's I think it's two-pronged. I don't think it's just a salary dump. I think it's a salary dump with a purpose. But the second prong is there's just not enough innings for all these guys and not enough spots in the bullpen for all these guys. And so when you look around that bullpen, you look around and you see one guy who's got 1 year left on his deal. Now, that's putting a lot of weight on the shoulders of Tanner Banks and Jose Alvarado.
Yeah.
Who were, Tanner Banks was fantastic last year in the role that he took on. And Jose Alvarado is going to be out to prove a lot this year.
Mm-hmm.
He's still, I think he's just now 31. Like he's still got a lot of gas left in the tank. So he's going to be out to prove something this year. And that does give them a really, really solid back end of the bullpen with those three guys lurking down there. You got three guys pumping 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
And that's going to be fun. And Alvarado can come in and get righties out. Keller can come in and get lefties out. Duran can come in and get anybody out.
Mm-hmm.
Bring back the ghost of Babe Ruth. And he's going to get, he can get anybody out.
Yeah.
Tanner Banks just kind of became your come in and clean up the mess guy. Kirkering, maybe he's just a clean inning, sixth, seventh inning guy for you now. And maybe Keller takes on that dirty inning.
I think that's exactly what
scenario.
He does. Yeah.
Yeah. If they don't have a clean eighth inning, he's
right.
probably coming in that day. He's going to take that Hoffman inning down. I'm very excited about the move. I love that they added to the bullpen. I love that they didn't just throw a dart at a 1 year guy.
I agree.
I think it's a phenomenal move. But at the end of the day, a Strahm trade seems like it is pretty much written. Well, they're holding the pen to the stone, if I can say it that way.
Yeah.
I think it's near inevitable. And would I be disappointed? Yeah, I've really come to like Matt Strahm.
I agree.
I have.
Yeah.
I've really come to like Matt Strahm, but I think it's the most fitting and ideal scenario in terms of where this team is right now and where this bullpen is. And I mentioned Bohm earlier. Say you trade both of them, and I'm not talking about in the same deal, but say you trade both of them, that frees up about $18 million. So like you said, whether that's on May or whether that's separate, and they want to use other money for a May and then bringing in a guy like Bregman with that money.
Yeah.
It's all possible. Everything's out in front of them. Watch the Bregman market. It is just not what Scott Boras believes it's going to be. It's twice now that this has happened. Twice. So keep an eye on it. I know I said that last episode. I stand by it. I just think his market might collapse and he might just say, whatever, Scott, find me a winner. Just get me on a winner. And we know Scott Boras loves himself some John Middleton.
Yeah, that's very true.
And John Middleton loves himself some Scott Boras. So, hey, do me this favor and we'll talk about let's see if we can get Bregman here for this number, and then we can talk about that Bryce Harper extension you want.
How many years do you think it would be for Bregman? If that does become the scenario? Because I think I've seen some things that he's looking for like 6.
Yeah, and I think that's what the holdup is. I think Boras is out here looking for 6 years, and he might only be able to land on 4 or 5. And if you're telling me I could get Alex Bregman for like 4 at 100, right? I'm not going to blink at that. I'm not going to blink at that. I think he was 5 for 100 with the opt out in Boston last year. So, he had a very similar year to his last year in Houston. It did nothing much changed. It was still a really good year. He was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a 6-year deal for a 32-year-old player.
Yeah.
A lot of his positive comes from his play defensively. He's a very good defender, no matter where you play him in the field. He's a fantastic defensive player. And that's going to regress as time goes on. So If you can get me 4 years, or maybe he wants something shorter, maybe he wants opt-outs again. I don't know. But I would say four could get it done. 5 would probably, I think, would definitely get it done at this point, because 6 ain't happening.
Yeah.
6 just isn't happening.
Yeah.
It's not. Any predictions for this like week coming up here? You think they get JT done before Christmas?
I don't know anymore. Honestly, I really don't. I kind of would have expected it to be a little after Schwarber. I thought Schwarber would be first. But I don't know, man. I'm like, it seems something just feels weird. I keep saying that, but I don't know how to quantify it. It just, something feels weird.
It does. I really agree.
And I don't really
I'm
know
not
why
sure.
he's stuck on this extra year. Like, I don't know. I'm happy the Phillies aren't caving. If you want me to be really honest, I'm glad they're not caving on it
Yeah, I agree.
and just giving it to him. Because I think if they did that, Keller doesn't exist.
Maybe.
I mean, maybe. But like how this,
Maybe.
I mean, we're speculating a little based on how this has gone. But
I still believe that the Keller money was Robertson and
yeah,
and
sure.
Romano.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't want to pay JT $345. Like, I don't want to.
Yeah, but that wasn't, I don't think that was ever the thing. I that clip was pretty misleading. Friend of the show, Doc, Brian Hamilton, pointed out that they were talking about Harrison Bader, and that doesn't get like said out loud in the clip.
Yeah.
It's like cut off. JT's not, I can't imagine JT getting 3 years, $45 million. I cannot. I can't.
Yeah.
If that's the deal, I'm not sniffing that.
Yeah.
I'm not sniffing that.
Yeah. I want like 2 for 24. Like,
I don't know if we're gonna get that, but I'd be fine going 2 for 28. I'd be fine with that.
yeah.
You could absolutely talk me into 2 for 28. But I don't know what that has them so far apart. I'm gonna say that JT signs before Christmas.
Okay. I don't think
just
anything
know
else
it's
will.
gonna be with the Phillies.
I don't think anything else will happen, but that might be true.
Yeah, I could see like a Strahm trade maybe happening here.
Maybe.
Too.
Yeah. I'm hoping
Just
for
'cause
like
there's
just
not a
three
left-hand-
tweets in a row. Bohm traded, Strahm traded, Bichette signs. Like, just give me a boom, boom, boom. In order. And I don't care what order, just any combination of like Gelb, Passan, and give me a Jimmy Salisbury tweet in
we
there
haven't
just
seen
for
many
fun.
of those.
Just for fun.
We haven't seen many of those from good old James.
It'd be
I
fun.
haven't seen many. I will say JT will happen first. Strahm will happen after that. I think he's the best left-hander on both the trade and free agent market.
Yeah.
And then whatever takes place after that. But better be something good, because you're gonna have a very unhappy fan base if it's Alec Boehm hitting behind Bryce Harper on opening day.
Yes, I will be among them.
I'm sorry.
I will be.
I know there are a lot of Alec Boehm lovers out there. I know they come
He
in
just
all.
can't be your cleanup hitter. If he was batting 7th, you could maybe.
I'm even fine with him. I'm even fine with him hitting 6th, man. Like
But that's what I'm saying. He can't be your guy protecting Bryce Harper or Kyle Schwarber. It can't happen.
And the reasons that we get are he doesn't strike out. Well, that's fine, but he also doesn't hit for any power.
Right.
Like whatsoever. For a dude who's 6'5", I'll never get it.
He moved Bryce from first to second. Good job, Alec.
I'll never ever get it. Ever.
Yeah, with this pool noodle hit to right field. He moved Bryce from first to second.
So good. So good. Can't believe people aren't
I know,
excited.
can't believe it. No top end talent coming back for that. Can't believe it.
And then behind him, Brandon Marsh.
Yeah, right.
What a great 4-5. What a great 4-5. And I love them both. I do. I love them both. But goodness gracious, it just can't be. They should be hitting 6th and 7th.
Yes.
Plain and simple. All right. Anything else for the good of the cause there?
I don't know. It just feels like we're so close. and I don't know if they're actually going to do it. And like you said, I'm not unhappy with what they've done so far. I'm not. I'm really not. But we're so close. Let's just keep it moving. Let's keep it going.
Let's keep it going. I think that's the phrase of the Phillies offseason. Let's keep it going. Hopefully tomorrow we keep it going.
Hopefully.
And another thing to keep going, the Eagles offense.
Yeah.
Keep it going. I mean, look, put on a show. They put on a show against the mighty Las Vegas Raiders
Oh God.
on Sunday. Look, I know your feelings on this. I'm gonna let you get to that here in a second. And I think it's very fair. I know that they're a bad football team. And I also know that they have played a lot of teams close this year. They have, I think the Eagles were tied for their second worst loss. It's the first time since the team's inception that they haven't broken 100 yards of offense. Still some NFL caliber players on that defense too. So I'll let you kind of say what your thoughts are on the game here, and then we'll talk about a couple of things that I liked specifically offensively. There's really nothing to say with the defense. They're just so elite that it doesn't really matter. There's nothing I'm gonna say that's gonna take it any further than they're just really freaking elite. But go ahead, tell me your thoughts.
I don't know. I'm very much on the side of I don't know how to take this without the veil of the Raiders being heavily involved. I want to be happy about a few things, but even Sheil on his Ringer podcast was like, they still only did under center play action 5 times. He's like, Stafford and Goff sometimes do it 15 to 16 times a game. So they're still way behind that in terms of using stuff like that. I don't think right now this offense has not built up enough credibility for me to jump all in after one game against the Raiders. If we continue to see something of it against the Commanders, that's great. The Commanders are still a terrible defense. But this has to keep building into something. This has to be, they have to show us that like this under center stuff, and that they have to show us that they're actually trying to change something. Not that they were able to just get away with more stuff against a terrible defense. So if that continues to happen, great. Awesome. I will be in. But it's very difficult for me to do that. To even be a little bit back after one game against this team. It would be very different, obviously, if they're playing a better defense and they show that they can do this. You can be like, I would still think they'd have to do it 2 weeks or 3 weeks in a row for me to be all in. But you would at least be like 25 or 30% all, back in, as opposed to right now I'm like 15% back in. And that's just where I'm at. I need to see it happen multiple times, not just once against a really bad team.
Yeah, and I think that's totally fair. However, they blew the doors off of that really bad team.
Yes.
I think it's also fair. While it's fair to believe and say what you're believing and saying, there's so much credibility in that. I think it's also fair to say that if they had won that game 2014 and struggled, that we'd be killing them right now.
Yeah.
So while it's okay to be patient and hesitant to believe, it's also okay to be happy that they came out and did the things that they did.
Sure.
And blow a team's doors off that they were supposed to blow the doors off of. Because just 2 years ago, they lost to a similar team in Arizona when they were struggling.
Yeah.
And they did not allow that to happen this year. Now, again, the defense being what it was, but the offense did show up. The offense did good things. Do I still have issues? Yes. Were there a season low in hitch routes? There were. Does that excite me? It does. Did they run the ball more effectively? Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. They're really missing Lane Johnson.
Yeah.
And he's not playing again this weekend. They're missing there's a lot. There's still a lot on the bone. They were able to do some things in the run game. There were 2 or 3 explosive plays from Saquon in this game that we had not seen. Jalen ran the ball more in this game, which was awesome to see.
Yeah.
They were using Dallas Goedert in ways they have not used Dallas Goedert all season. They used the middle of the field way more. Crossing routes. Can you believe it? They existed. The last touchdown throw was 13 personnel. They had 3 tight ends on the field and A.J. Brown. And they used A.J. in the slot on that play. There were multiple possessions in series where they ran the dual running back set with Saquon and Will Shipley. And they did some creative things out of that. Things were married in this game. The run game and the pass game were married for the first time. Yes, they were still under center play action was not, I think it was 5 or 6 plays, but they were under center more.
Yes. Yes.
And they run the ball well from under center. And Jalen, that's the next step in his game. He wants to be under center, but like his shotgun happy coach has not been allowing him to be under center. And now they're showing that a little bit more. Jalen said something this week about like, you know, he did talk about how they haven't found their identity yet, which drives me absolutely insane that it's, you know, we're in week 16
Yeah, right.
and we haven't found an identity yet. That's just, oh my gosh. However, he did say, you know, that in the months of September, October, November, you are trying to find yourself. You're trying to figure out how you match up to the rest of the teams in the sport. And the games that really matter are December, January, and February. And I do want to believe that this team is going to play their best football going into the postseason. This game will be a nice little tell. It's another bad defense.
Yeah.
It's Marcus Mariota. There's no Laramie Tunsil. There's no Zach Ertz. There's still some decent players on that offense. They can run the ball well enough. I'm really worried about Latu running around and trying to take someone's head off in this game because he is not Latu. What's it? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh God,
the linebacker,
Luvu, Frankie Luvu.
Thank you, Frankie Luvu. Yeah, Latu's our guy. Who, by the way,
played very well.
Can we just not with Grant Calcaterra and
Please.
just with
that'd be great
with Luvu or Latu.
Before we get it, I do want to say that I'm with you. I'm very happy that some of these things like the hitch routes and the cohesiveness of what seemed to be the offensive play calling, the under center runs, all those things. I want to be clear. I'm not denying that those things happened or like sweeping them under the rug. I'm not saying that.
Sure.
I'm very happy that that was the case against this team. Because if it had come out and been the opposite, then this is broken. Like something's very broken. So I'm happy to see that it happened. I'm more speaking to like, I don't like my percentage of belief is still very low because of the quality of the opponent. I'm very happy with the trends I see. I need to see it more like this week and the next week and the next week. Like that's what we need to see. We need to see that they've decided on an identity, that they decided on a way to play these games and game plan and all that stuff.
I agree. We need to see it more. And I think that's very fair. But here's the other part. is seeing it 2 more times going to be enough to give you confidence going into the postseason?
Not full
Like,
confidence.
if they come in and do similar things offensively to the Commanders and then go to Buffalo, where you're going to see a good portion of the offense out there, probably not Lane. If they win this week, you won't see Lane Johnson. If they lose, you might. But you're going to see a good portion of the offense in Buffalo because that'll be their last chance to play together.
Yeah.
If they were to put a really nice performance together here this weekend, Saturday night, and then the following Sunday against the Bills, what would your confidence level be going into, the playoffs, knowing that week 18 is going to be a heavy dose
Yeah.
of second string?
I'd say it could get to 70%, and I don't think it gets any higher than that.
I think that's fine though. I think that's a fair level to be at. I think I was actually thinking I'd be around 60, 65. And to hear that you'd be at 70 is
I think that's the ceiling.
Yeah.
Depending on how those games truly go and like what we see out of it. But in the scenario that you said, if they come out and build on this and continue to do it and it has success, I think I could get to 70. I think I'd probably still be in the range of what you're talking about. Because I think right now it's 0. It's like it's still, or maybe 10, like I said. It might be at 10 right now.
Yeah. Show me you can do it for more than 2 weeks.
Right.
And then we'll have a conversation. Right. And so we'll see what that looks like this weekend. I do believe they need to get this done this weekend though.
Yeah.
They need to take care of it themselves.
Yes.
You don't want to depend on the Chargers having to win on Sunday.
No.
You don't want to have to go to Buffalo and try and win a game.
Yeah.
When they're still playing for their playoff hopes, or I guess they're pretty much in. It's more so the division for them right now. They only have 4 losses, so I think they're pretty set at that 5 seed. And you don't want it to get to week 18 because anything can happen.
Right.
So just win the game this weekend. And they're probably not going to show a ton against Buffalo because why? But do enough. And then you get to week 18 and you just ride it out.
Mm-hmm.
But speaking a little bit to the defense here, before we get to the Commanders, we're not going to spend a ton of time there. We're just going to pretty much quick key and quick prediction. I talked about this a little bit on last episode, and I wanted to bring it back around. There just are not many defenses that scare me in the NFC right now. There just aren't. And we'll talk about this when we do a more in-depth look at the postseason. If they win this week, that'll pretty much be our focus as we move into, the rest of the season here. But I don't see a defense that I'm like, well, if we play them, this offense isn't going to be able to do anything. The Packers took a huge hit. I don't know if the Seahawks are going to end up getting in. They're losing right now.
Yeah, they're still a really good defense.
Who?
Seattle. Like they still have a good defense.
I don't know if they can get in.
That would be
if
they lose.
No,
is that like?
No, they're 11. They'll be 11-4.
Yeah,
yeah, they're pretty much set. I don't know that 5, 6, 7. Yeah, it would be tough for them to miss, I think. Let me pull it up this way. It's easier to see this way. They are. So San Francisco's a game behind them. They'd pretty much have to lose out to not get in.
Yeah.
And the Lions would have to win out. And I don't think Seattle's schedule will allow them to lose out. No. Rams at Carolina and at San Francisco. Not out of the realm of possibility. Carolina's playing better. They're sitting with an opportunity for a postseason spot. So, yeah, Seattle's probably the one defense when I look at this. And obviously the Bucs, just because they give us all kinds of
course.
Yeah. All kinds
just
of grief.
Because we have to mention them.
Just because they, we have to talk about them. All right, let's quick do this prediction thing. We'll dive more into a postseason situation as we move along here.
All right.
If they clinch, we can talk about it. So, key to the game for me is going to be what it was last week. You know, I said, show me something offensively. I'm going to say, show me more offensively. Build on it. You know, keep showing that you can marry the run game to the pass game and the pass game to the run game. And there's concept behind the script that you can adjust when another team adjusts. I think that's one thing the Raiders did not do. That is not something you'll see with the Commanders. They're very well coached. Dan Quinn will make adjustments, and I need to see our offensive coordinator make adjustments back.
Yeah. First of all, I agree 1,000% on the offensive side. I want to continue to see this defense play lights out. I just think the more and more confidence that they can get, it only benefits us as we get deeper into the season. So I want to see them kick the crap out of this Commanders team. Like, just kick the crap out of them.
It'd be nice. It'd be nice.
Yeah, that's what I want to see.
They are 7-point road favorites.
All right.
Which is wild.
Yeah.
44.5 is the total. You predicted first last week. Let's keep that going.
All right. I'm going to say 27-14 Eagles.
27-14 Eagles. Okay. I didn't look at the weather or anything. I'm gonna say 35-17.
All right.
35-17 Eagles. I'm going way over. We will see what happens, and hopefully we're talking about clinching the division. Hey, quick update here. The Yankees are unlikely to land Tatsuya Imai, which basically leaves the Phillies, the Cubs, and the Mets based on all reporting that has been out there. I mean, listen, it would be really cool.
It would be really fun. It would be really fun. Especially a dude who's already saying, I want to beat all I want to do is beat the Dodgers.
And we were the team that lost to them. And I hope that the Phillies are playing that up. You know, I saw the Wheeler stuff. They're following each other on Instagram.
I know.
You know, the Japanese snacks being, Mrs. Wheeler stuff. Come on, do it. Trade Strahm, trade Bohm, sign Regz.
All in to the moon.
Ride.
To the moon.
To the moon. To the moon. To the moon. All right, everybody. We appreciate you listening. We will look. I'll tell you what, Regz. If they win on Saturday, we might have to jump on and just do a quick emergency pod
let's do it.
Hey, they won the division 2 years in a row. It hasn't happened since like 97 or something or 04. I think the last time
it's been a while. It's been a while.
I think it was 04. I think it was the last time the Eagles, like when they went to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Time. So we might have to jump on and just quickly celebrate that. Otherwise, look for us back next week. We'll figure out when, just because Christmas lands next Thursday. So it might be early in the week. Maybe it'll be over the weekend, something like that. We'll talk. We'll let you know. But in the meantime, go ahead and click subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, here below, wherever you get your podcasts, go and follow, rate, leave a comment, do something. Head on over to Twitter at the Mic Drop 5 at Big Regz with a Z over there at the Phixated Podcast. And then head on over to Instagram at the Phixated Podcast, TikTok at the Phixated Pod, Phixated fan page on Facebook, and the merchandise is in the show description below. We appreciate you guys listening to us. We will talk to you next week. Until then, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and we love you. Birds, show me more.
Thank you, everybody. Go Birds.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.